You are welcome to today's edition of Jatem Global Network Show. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. So today again, we're having another guest in our studio here. And I believe you'll be happy to meet them. And even our discussions, by the grace of God, will bless me and it will bless you too. So with me here, I have with me another cast. Guess who? So it's nice having you. God bless you. Thanks for honoring our invitation. Please, can we meet you?
Okay. I am Asumo Samuel by name.
Asumo Samuel.
Yeah.
Asumo Samuel. It's nice meeting you.
Thank you.
You are one of the cast in Stone Thrower 3.
Not only 3, Stone Thrower generally.
Okay. You are one of the cast in Stone Throwers. 1, 2, and 3.
3, yes.
Wow. What was your role?
Okay, I played the role of Israel Akande
Israel.
in Stone Throwers.
Okay. Can you just give us a brief introduction or familiarity about Israel?
Okay, Israel Akande is the only child of Professor Akande. And then that character is the character of a Tush and wealthy family. Israel, looking at the storyline, had a fiancé, that's the daughter to Reverend Peter, and before the wedding, after the wedding has been announced in church, they had unplanned pregnancy, and we actually lead a lot of chaos in the church, at home, the missing faiths. Usually had to went to police station for interview. A lot of chaos. But that happened by error by mistakes, and he realized that what happened was an error. It was not too late for him before he went to God in prayer, personal retreat, and get things right. So that's what I can just say. If I should go on by saying a lot of things about Israel, season 1, season 2, season 3, there's a lot of things.
Okay, when you were given the scripts and going through the script, you discovered that you'll be taking a prominent role in the production. How did you feel about it?
Well, at first I didn't realize that I would be taking Israel. I remember vividly that when I saw the script and I read through the script, season 1, I was even asking some of my friends, who is the Israel that is playing Israel? Before then, I did not check the cast list to see Israel. But it was much of a challenge to me to handle the role of Israel, because when you look here, you see Israel, there Israel, and then the lines are not just 2 lines, 3 lines. That's something that I just have to is this tedious. So it was quite challenging, but well, I know that it's not too difficult to handle with the help of the Holy Spirit. And probably being that I've been in Christian drama for a while, though stagefully, I've been on stage for a while. So I didn't actually see it as much of a challenge. Just let me put it that way.
Okay, are you a student or you are a worker?
Not a student. I'm working. Ministry is my area of calling, and I quite understand the intricacy of ministry. And anywhere I find myself, I let people around me to know what I'm into. So when we started Stone Throwers 1, then I was working with a school then, though my proprietress understood that I'm into ministry. But at a point she could not bear it. I could remember that she told me that, son, you are good in what you do, you are this and that. Why don't you think you just have to focus on on this your movie of a thing instead of just coming to me here and there seeking for permission and the likes? And she mentioned it, she made a statement then. I cannot forget that. If you are working in a bank, will you be seeking for permission to be going for this movie location? And within me, I was like, even if I'm working in a bank, if I'm working in CBN, it will not stop. It will not stop with ministry. Not knowing that we actually end up working in a bank. So I realized that there's nothing I'm doing that will stop the ministry. And I see a place of understanding, because I understand that we schedule location and there is a kind of consideration on the location schedule. So if I'm having a lines that it won't take much of the time, and then if the location is not something that have me to be available during the week, so I go on weekends. People outside there don't know that we shoot at weekend. What they see is that they see the movie production, so they don't know. Till now I see have people that ask me, some of my colleagues, how do you do this? Is it the same banking job that you are doing that we are doing that? Just tell me how you are doing it so that I can also be useful for God. I have someone that asked me that question, because to them they believe that there are some career, there are some jobs that when you are into it, totally you don't have time for God again.
Wow. So it calls for determination. It calls for determination. That is to tell us that no one has these skills. The fact that you are working at a particular place does not mean you can no more work for God. In fact, some people believe once they give out their money, they don't have the time. They are buying the time. He said, even though he's not chanced during the week, he make available the weekends for God. What do you do with your time? Are you not placing your job more than God? How do you prioritize it? Your job or your God? Your God or your job? The Lord will help us in Jesus' name. Verse Psalm now. Psalm Asumo as Israel Akonde in stone throwers. So now, when it happened, you and your fiancé, you had an issue, and that led to pregnancy during the wedding, according to the movie. Now, as a young man like you, what do you think, or what advice do you have for other youths in this journey of their courtship? Because there's a tendency that there will always be temptation along the line. How do you think they can handle it? How do you expect them to handle it so that it will not lead to such? Not just leading to pregnancy, but that premarital sex will not come in.
Well, that's a good question to ask, and it's something that people out there, the youths, need to know and find the right answer to. What I would just say is that there is boundary, there is an edge. Like the scripture says that whoever breaks an edge, serpents will bite. So when you realize that this thing is not acceptable before marriage, I think the first thing is for you to know your stand and then know what is obtainable during courtship. There are some people that believe that such thing is not a crime. So far that we have made our love known to each other and then we are courting, so it's not a crime, at least not my father. That's some people's mentality to it. But as a child of God, you know what is expected of us while courting. That's one. And then going back to the storyline, faith emphasized on the fact that is when I came to visit you, or is when we decided to get our apartment outside the convenience of our parents. That's when the constant visiting. I don't say that visiting is not is not good. But constant visiting and then the time spent together might be tempting. But number one thing, as I've said, is that your state of heart and knowing what courtship is all about. Are you meeting to see God's face, to pray together, to fellowship together, knowing God's will for both of you in marriage? Or what are you meeting for? And then where are your meeting points?
Where are your meeting points?
So those are the things that actually trigger the feelings, that trigger the emotions. And if care is not taken, you end up doing what you are not supposed to do.
Wow. Thank you so very much. I think he has given us good points, very good points, that will be very useful to our youth. Now, say something about coming out. It is not bad for a matured man to come out of the family. There are times that while he was just saying it, something came to my mind, and that is when some people, they leave the fellowship of brethren. Somehow, in what area have you left the fellowship of the brethren? You discover that by the time you detach yourself from the brethren, you begin to do some things that are not godly. Now, he talked about where are the meeting points. In other words, it is not that you shouldn't meet. For how long do you stay together? If you have to meet, you can meet where you know it is not secluded. It is not secluded, no, and you don't meet for a long time, to the extent that temptation will be. Of course, temptation will come. It will come. It is not a sin for temptation to come, but it is a sin when you fall into temptation. Jesus Christ was also tempted, but he never fell. So, where do you meet? And for how long do you meet? What do you talk about? Even if your meeting is to pray and do Bible study, for how long? For how long? You need to be very careful. Take your stand. Know who you believe. Then maybe I should just add this, that if you are given a poison, no matter how hungry you are, you know there's poison in a food, you will never eat it, no matter how hungry you are. So also, if you are hungry for such emotion at that moment, why don't you see it as a poison? See it as a death sentence, so that you not swallow it. As long as you can avoid it, then you can avoid temptation. The Lord will help us in Jesus' name. Our brother Sam Asomo, I really appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. Please, what's the opinion about the movie Stone Throwers? Or what can you tell people about Stone Throwers?
Well, stone throwers. There is an adage that says those who live in a glass house should not throw stone. And looking at the message of stone throwers, from season 1 down to season 3, actually there are a series of messages, and they actually talk about people who blame others, whereby they have their own stain on them. So Stone Throwers is a movie that's filled with messages, and then it talks about you cleaning your own stain before pointing accusing finger to others. Yeah, looking at Stone Throwers 3, for instance, Reverend Richard actually find it difficult to accept God gifts because he had female children, and that was the starting point of his problem. So there are a lot of things that we can just pick as messages to bless life. So Stone Thrower movie is a movie that when you rewatch over and over again, you have a message to pick, and then you refreshing from within, and then on its own it will build you up. So it's a movie that I can recommend to everyone out there to see on Jatem Global Network YouTube channel and watch. Don't just go through. Watch it, download it, subscribe, like, and then share with friends. I have people that watch it. at my place of work, if every one of them do not remember anything, they will tell me that so they see the movie, they know the movie, and one way or the other they have a message to pick from the movie.
Thank you so much. So whatever God gives us, we should appreciate it. How will somebody be saying that he's having only female children? What if he's not having any? And he's not even capable of creating any more? You can imagine. That's wonderful. The film is so encompassing. And we bless the name of the Lord for that. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. I know you are so busy and you have brought out this time again because of your holiday. So you are here today. Thank you for always creating time for God. God will also create time for you. The Lord bless you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. It's nice seeing you.
Little did I know that the same sweet lies in my mouth will eventually make my life become bitter.
Nobody's still saying switched off.
I thought you said she was not picking up before.
Yes, she wasn't picking up before, but now it's saying switched off.
Ella, pretty lady. Sure you don't want to marry again, ni?
If you enter our house like this, you think you're in a palace. We have television in each of our 13 rooms.
Are you sure? I didn't do anything now. I beg, leave me alone. Let's cheer the girl up now. What is it?
Honestly, I don't know how to say this, but I guess I just have to say it.
Will you shut up?
Sonia, why even like this? Are you a friend or a foe?
Yeah. So how are you feeling now? I think I can say I'm happy somehow.
Woo! Yes, I feel you, good.
Yeah. Waiting there.
I can't do this.
What are we going to do now? I don't know again. No.
Ọmọ àgbà pọ́npọ́ lọ́wọ́ ní pọ́npọ́, fipò ní pọ́npọ́ pọ́npọ́npọ́.
Mami, èmi nìkan tán.
Ìyàwó ìyàwó.
Èmi nìyẹn.
Ìyàwó ìyàwó.
Èmi nìyẹn, mami.
Jeff, would you like to take Ella as your lovely wife? And he will be like, I do.
I need to be alone. I want all of you to get out of this place.
Ella, calm down. Not today is your wedding.
What wedding?
Hello, who is this?
What? Jesus!
What did I do again?
Come on, keep asking me.
You're welcome back. I hope you are enjoying yourself in the presence of the Lord. You're welcome back once again. So with me here is another guest, and I know you'll be happy to meet our guest again. So this guest we have here today is our lovely sister. Please, can we meet you?
My name is Olasunkanmi.
Olasunkanmi. It's nice having you in our studio. You're most welcome. When we were giving the scripts for this location, Stone Throwers, we've had the first season, the second season, but I think it was in the third season that you came up. What was your feeling? How did you feel when you were asked to come for this production?
Okay, I felt privileged because to me, I'm still a small girl, and then I was like, yeah, God has plans for me for allowing me to feature in this movie, in this production. Yeah, so I felt privileged. But yeah, I felt privileged.
So, was Stone Thrower your first movie?
Yes, it was my first movie production.
And you did wonderfully well.
Thank you, ma'am.
So what was your role?
Okay, the name of my role was Joy, and I was the third child of Reverend and Mrs. Richards. Yes, I had 2 sisters.
So, how were you able to, interpret the role of a dumb girl, and throughout we're not talking? You died quiet or?
Okay, playing the role of a dumb girl was quite challenging because I like talking a lot. So when I heard the script, I was like, God, you just have to help me, because if not for the help of God, I know that I could have just stuck at one point or the other, and then I'll be like a delay to the production. So it's more or less like God just helped me, and then it just helped me to interpret the role, and then it just gave me the grace to just play the role of a dumb girl.
Wow. So those drawings, those artwork that you did there, how did you do it? So are you very good in drawing?
No, it wasn't me that did the drawings. It was just people did it then in the film, in the production. I was just like painting it and then just doing a few designs to, like, I didn't do the main drawings myself.
Okay, but you have a little knowledge about drawing, do you?
No, I don't have the talent for drawing, but at least in school.
A little knowledge about drawing.
Did fine arts in school, but not like I know deep in depth of it.
Wow. You are still a student?
Yes, ma'am.
Which school?
Rebel College.
That's wonderful. It's nice having you. So how were you able to cope with the location, the mastering of the script, and your school?
It wasn't quite difficult because I didn't have much lines, because I didn't really talk, so there wasn't much problems in me mastering the lines. And then school, I just did it during the weekend, so it didn't clash with my school activities.
What about your parents when they were informed that you will be going for a movie location? How did they react? Or were you first told, or your parents were first informed?
My parents were first informed. This was actually my dad that informed me, and then they were supportive because they are also into the drama ministry, so they actually know what it entails rather. So they were quite supportive, and then they gave me the support I needed, and then they actually told me things I need to know, things I need to do, and that's it.
Okay. Were you happy doing it?
Yes, very, very happy, because I also like to act, and then people always tell me that everything about me is just film, so I like it. Yes, it's a passion, so I was very happy doing it.
So you have been acting on stage before?
Yes, ma'am.
In school? In church?
In school, in church, in programs.
In programs, that's wonderful. So what was your experience during the location?
It was quite fun. Jatem is made up of a lot of fun people, so I actually thought that since I don't know much people, that I only know Gloria and her parent, that it will be boring, and then I'll feel like bored, and then because Gloria will not always be there because she'll be busy. But actually, just the location that I did was actually worth it. I met a lot of fun people, a lot of friendly people, and then they made the location nice and fun.
Wow. So what can you say about the story, the film?
Okay, I don't really know much because my script wasn't the whole script, but as per my family, Reverend Richard, I just like encourage parents that the parents, they might be the one influencing the negative behaviors of their children, because my elder sister in the movie, it was due to the attitude of her parent that actually made her to be a wayward child. And then because her father wasn't there to do his responsibility, the first child and the second child, they were wayward, because disciplining a child is not just the mother's responsibility, it's the both parent. And then since the father wasn't there, the children didn't have much discipline. So I think that's just what the story is about. Just like, I don't know, it's just about different families, and then that's it.
Now there are some children that are unfortunate that their parents will not even have time for them. So in other words, there's this tendency for them to be wayward or to do whatever they like. Such people, what advice do you have for them?
No, I feel like to them in particular, they cannot be void of people in their life that they can talk to. If their parent is not available, I'm sure that they will have other people that we have time, and then there will be other people they can open up to and then share their burdens with. Even though there are some children that even though their parents have time for them, there are still some other people they talk to more than their parents. So for those type of people, I just advise them to look for people they know they can trust and then they can open up to. And they're not just anybody, but godly people that will advise them in a godly manner. So I feel like that should help.
Why do you think some children will not want to open up to their parents?
Okay, I feel that lack of trust, because there are a lot of children rather that don't trust their parents as much as they trust outsiders. So I feel like, and then the attitude of the parent also matters. If the parent isn't trying, because as teenagers, it's not easy to just trust everybody. Even though as our parents, we have some difficulties in telling them some things. So I feel like the attitude of the parent also matters. The parents should try and draw their children closer. As much as they want to discipline the children, they should also understand the children's feelings. Because there are a lot of children that it's because of the way their parents react that don't make them open up. Maybe the child just means something else and then the parents will see it as something else. So the parents should just try and be in our shoes. As teenagers, as children, they should try and be in our shoes. And then they should not say that we are in a different dispensation, and then the way something is happening to me might not be the way it happened to my parents at that particular point. And then the way my parents understand the issue might not be the way I understand the issue. So our parents should not see it as their own problem, but they should see it in our own view. Even if their own, how will I say it, even if their own opinion is different from the way we see it, they should first try and understand the way we feel before they just like take decisions and conclude. And then there are a lot of parents that they are too dictatorial. I just want my child to do everything I want. No, our parents should try and understand we're also growing up. We have feelings, we have emotions. So they should try and see it in our own way too, even if they might be correct. Because no parent will want to harm their children. Whatever they have for their children is for their best. But maybe, let me say for example, my parents want me to go to science class. And then now I don't like science class. Because my parents be like, mo fẹ́ ṣe medicine, mo be medicine, mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kí wọ́n ṣe medicine. Forcing the child to do the medicine doesn't mean the child will be successful. So they should try and reason with the child, because the child might not have the capability to go to science class. That's why the child might want to go to art class. So our parents should just try and understand. So I feel like most of the reason why children wouldn't want to open up is the parent's attitude. And then there are sometimes that the children might just not just open up. But I feel like most of the time it's the parents' fault.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for opening up to us. The question was, why is it that some children don't like to open up to their parents? And thank God that the dumb Joyce said you could speak well, you could talk. That how was she going to cope with this dumbness of a thing? But God helped her. And now you can see her speak and opening up. So parents, she said, at times your attitude is what makes the children not to feel like opening up, that they even prefer to open up to outsiders than opening up to you. So to all parents, Shikemi Adeniyi as Joy in Stone Throwers 3 has made us to realize that our attitude is preventing most children from opening up. So I want to use this opportunity to say that we should please understand them, even though we know better than they do, and we always wish them good. In fact, we always wish the best. We always want the best for them. We should do it in a way that they will understand what we are talking about. They will understand that we should put ourselves in their shoes. We should stop comparing during our time to during their own time. So this is a very serious issue that maybe subsequently we may need to dwell on it very well. So please, as parents, we have heard it, and I believe it's going to help many of us to adjust in many ways. In fact, the way I'm feeling now, I feel like if parents can be having meetings with their children on probably what they want the children to know, and the children having the opportunity to share their minds to their parents, I think some ups and downs will be dealt with. Am I saying your mind?
Yes, ma'am.
So please, our parents, the Lord will help us as we progress and we train up our children, will not be guilty over them, in Jesus' name. Shikemi, it's nice having you on this show. You are so much welcome. I really appreciate your presence. You are such a cool girl. No? You look cool, but you are not that cool. But let me say, you are such a lively girl. The Lord bless you. Thanks for coming. And I pray the Lord will help you in your academics. Will help you. You will do well. And you know, at times, let me just say this on behalf of we, the parents, that we want the best for you. We may not, just you to try to understand with us that we want the best for you. We want you to become great in life. We want to guide you in the path of righteousness, to the path of greatness. And that is why it's as if we are talking too much, we are saying all these things. And just look at it that no matter what, if you obey your parents, I'm not talking about the aspect of forcing you to do one course or the other. Even if a parent is trying to tell a child to do one thing or the other, and you think it will not go well with you, just take time. You can study your parents, probably when they're in a good mood, and you speak to them on why you cannot do it. And I think this will help the children as well. I'll be glad to have you again on this show on another topic entirely. Probably by the time we'll be dealing with the youth program. And the Lord bless you. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. What advice do you have for youths like you?
So, to the youth, like she has rightly said, we should also try and understand our parents. We should know that they want the best for us. So it's a two-way thing. Our parents should understand us, and at the same time, we should understand our parents. And then, just like my sisters in the movie, we shouldn't, because our parents are not doing their responsibility, we should also become bad children. No, there's still Jesus. Jesus is still there for us. Jesus will fill the space, will fill the void the parents leaves. So, whatever problems we are having, we should take it to the feet of Jesus, because He's the solution to all problems. Even if our parents are always there for us and then we are still having a problem, we should take it to Jesus. Jesus is always there for us. He's a loving Father. So that's it. Yes.
Shikemi, I'm so glad having you on this show. God bless you. Thanks for coming. Hope to see you again.
Yes, ma. Sure, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yes, ma. And regards to your parents.
Till dear, ma.
To all our viewers, thanks for watching. Thank you for your patience. Please don't forget, if you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please do so now. Send in your comments, suggestions, even topics you want or you would like us to treat in this studio. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to share the link, and don't forget to watch our previous content. The Lord bless you. Thanks everyone.